Boy Kyle over here, Kyle Yates, everybody, that I was going to pick him up from the airport. He told me 7. He arrived around like 6:30, 6:45 a.m., and I was about 15 to half an hour late. And you got some huevos rancheros.
That's right. Yeah, it's okay. My Uber was 10 minutes late, but it's all good. I got 3 hours sleep last night. Just happy to be here.
Yeah, so thanks for coming, bro. I think we had some good conversations in the car. We got some coffee, kind of hung out. But yeah, dude, welcome to San Diego. You're going to be playing the APP Newport this weekend, and I think you're pretty pumped for that.
I'm stoked. Yeah, I haven't played a lot of tournaments in the last 12 months. I think I've only played maybe 3 in the last 12 months. So just kind of excited to get back into it.
Yeah, I think we're all super excited to have you back. One question that I have is, are you going to be playing left side or right side?
Left side.
Left side.
Which is crazy because I feel like for years, everyone just assumed I was the right side player. Everyone would say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't really like that term. Back in the day, I mean, before there was even stacking, you'd play both sides.
Yeah,
so I kind of took pride in the fact that I could play both sides and was a little versatile. But the partners I had for years, I mean, I was playing with like Ben or Deckel or Andre, these like big guys who are such good players. I kind of conceded left side to them, so I turned into this like right side role player.
Yeah.
But I want to play more. I want to cover more of the court. So yeah, 100%. I'm playing left side this week with Benny Bombs, lefty.
Benny Bombs, baby.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, no, that's super exciting. And let's just go back a little bit to like, how you started playing when you started playing pickleball, because
way back,
right? Because I started in 2018, but you go way further back, a little bit older than I am. But yeah, just kind of run me across like, how it started and how you got into it.
Dude, this game has changed so much. I mean, it's not even the same sport. I tell people I've been playing for like 12 years, but honestly, I feel like I've only been playing for a year and a half or 2. Yeah. And I say that because, I mean, I just added a 2-handed backhand last year because paddles can finally spin the ball.
Yeah.
So, you go way back, rewind to like 2013. Yeah, everyone's using graphite paddles. Super smooth. Yeah. They break every few months. And, there wasn't a ton of competition, but also you had to travel to find good players to play with.
Yeah.
So I would say it's probably easier to be a professional now. The transition's a lot easier. There's more accessibility nowadays. So back then, that was probably the hardest thing, was just finding quality practice, finding decent courts and practice.
Yeah, 100%. One thing that I realized too over time, right, is like, obviously, then again, you started way before me, but even when I started, like the best player in my area was Callan, right, which is an unbelievable player. And at the time, probably like, when I started top 10 or whatever, top 5 even. But the one thing was that he was the really only good player. And then, or really good, like somebody you can look up to, right? And then you go in Arizona, you have one good player. You go to Florida, it's you, right? So like anywhere you went, there's only like, not even a handful, like 1 or 2.
Yeah, you get some pockets around the country, but yeah, there'd be like one player that kind of stands out. Yeah. But I remember the Dawsons. I remember when Callan played with his dad, Steve, at 2015 Nationals. I want to say they got maybe silver. So yeah, I've known them a long time too.
Yeah, Tyler was really good too. They had some like, I think they might have played you and somebody else in the TOC finals.
Oh, the Dawson brothers. Yeah, Wes Gabrielson and I, 2016 TOC final. We used the Onyx Pure Ball. Remember that? The little rubbery thing?
Yeah, I do remember. It used to like, dude, it bounced 0. You could get no spin on it.
So the Dawson brothers were amazing because they were just grinders. They just wanted to dink all day. And that was kind of Wes and my strategy too. We're like, we're just going to be backboards.
Yeah.
So you get this final where there's just like super long defensive rallies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, the best. Yeah, so when then again, like in 2018, I think that ball was already kind of going away and the Dura was being more introduced.
Yeah, the Pure didn't last very long.
Yeah, exactly. And then Franklin was still a little bit around. Franklin was around too in 2018. But yeah, then again, like in 2018 itself, like I just, basically like if you wanted to have any sort of good games, like you had to go somewhere else. Like that's just what it was.
Yeah, I think I was lucky being where I was from, Southwest Florida. Even kind of when I first started, 2011 and 12, we had some decent players, relatively, but we had some tournaments. And not a lot of players around the country back then even had tournaments. So we get some of like the Villages players come down, like Brian Staub and his son Matt, who were some of the best players in the world for a while.
Yeah.
Phil Bagley is a name probably most people in here won't remember.
I don't know.
He was, in my opinion, the best player in the world in 2013.
Oh, wow.
But these are the guys I got to practice with in Florida. I'd go to the Villages on the weekends and play with them, and they'd come down to Naples for tournaments and play some. So I think it's just kind of was in the right spot kind of early on. which helped. So like you said, it's hard to find good games back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you probably had enough podcasting where, we talk about your, how you started playing and all these things, but let's fast forward a little bit to my opinion, were the golden days, right? So we talked about it. We talked about it a little bit in the car, where 2022 was like such a fun year for me because I got to play APP, MLP. I even got PPAs because it was just kind of like all over the place, and I just played pickleball every single weekend. You were grinding, making pretty good money if you were a top player, right? Mm-hmm. So like, how was the evolution for you? Coming from 2013, where you're probably not really making any money playing pickleball.
Heck no.
Yeah. Right.
There was no prize money.
Yeah, exactly. So you're playing for a medal, you're playing for fun, and then now you're, obviously right before 2023, but from like 2013 to like 2018, and then 2018 to like 2021, 2022, like the money's getting like better and better and better, right? So like, how does somebody like you, where you've been playing for so long, feel about stuff like that? Like, what emotions do you have?
That's a good question. You could see it just kind of slowly grow from 2016 with that first U.S. Open, which was kind of when I first realized like, hey, I could probably be a professional at this. And then 2017, there really wasn't a pro tour yet. Just a couple tournaments with some prize money. 2018 was when there first started to be like a pro tour. Yeah. It was actually the Pro Pickleball Federation, and that was kind of like the year that I started doing really well. And we started playing some tournaments with Ben Johns, and then 2018, 2019. And then you just think you're, rocking and rolling going to 2020, and boom, COVID hit and everything stopped. So that was a bummer. And so that whole year, I'm like, man, I've been investing everything in this pro pickleball thing for the last 5 years, and now it just stopped. And I don't know when it's coming back, if it's coming back. And so that was kind of a realization, like, hey, I don't know if this is really my future or not. It was a really weird year for me. Yeah. And so I'm thinking everyone else is having the same feeling, which is not true, because when the PPA came back after COVID, everyone had been training for the entire year in the off season. Yeah. And I wasn't practicing at all. So that was hard coming back from that, because now there was more money in it, but also I wasn't I wasn't really one of the top players anymore. Yeah. I didn't feel it that way anyways. I wasn't winning. And so that was hard. But then you had the APP tour. And so I kind of took a step back, played on that for a while, and got more success, kind of got some confidence back, some more experience, was able to make some money back, and yeah, it's just crazy. It just kept growing, and PPA getting bought out by Dundon and whatnot. It's just, who would have expected that kind of boom in this last couple of years? I mean, it's just exponential. So who knows where it's gonna be next year? Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, because then again, like when we look at it from like a time frame standpoint, right? I actually remember the COVID thing that you're talking about, because I did literally nothing. And then me and Callum were playing the Newport tournament together, which was like the first one back out to the PP after COVID. And we weren't playing, practicing, or nothing. And, basically they announced that they were going to do it and they were going to go through with the tournament. And Callum and I, oh shit, we should go play some fucking pickleball. Like we have this tournament next week. So we basically hit things for like 7 days, went to the tournament, and ended up beating Ben and Matt. We beat Zayn, Affleck, and Colin Johns. We beat Jay and Pat, and then we lost in the finals to Riley and Tyson. But it was like the craziest thing ever, because I don't think anybody was expecting like even for that tournament to happen. Yeah, no. Actually, that said, what is your favorite Zayn Affleck story? Probably the time he stole $400 out of my bag. He didn't admit it, but I think it was him. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I liked him. I had fun playing against him. We never really butted heads or anything. He was always really cool to me. I got some stories I'm probably not too comfortable sharing on here. Okay, sounds good. I'll tell you afterwards. Yeah, sounds good. Because I can think of one you'll like, but okay. Dude, I don't know if this is true or not, but the one story that I heard was actually it was like a SoCal tournament at Bobby Riggs, and there was, I guess there were like glasses sitting on the side of the court with like a certain person was playing that I knew, and apparently he just like fucking like grabbed the glasses and like left. It's like, I guess these finders are keepers. Yeah, finders keepers. Dude, it's so funny to me. But dude, so like, talk to me a little bit about, last year you played some MLP. You were with the New York Hustlers, right? And then this year you decided not to even join the draft. That's true. I didn't even apply this season. Yeah. So how did that come about? How did you make that decision? It wasn't easy, which is crazy. But I think I've been on more MLP teams than any other player. Because I've played every season except for this one. I got traded twice, 3 times. So I mean, Chimeras, and then the Bus, the Hard Eights, the Hustlers. I had a Smash.
Yeah,
absolutely love it. MLP's awesome. Yeah, absolutely loved it. Every season it was great. With all the contract stuff going on, pretty much about a year ago to date now, just things kind of got whack. And I always liked MLP because it wasn't that huge of a commitment. You kind of knew when your events were. Like, it'd only be like a few weeks a year.
Yeah.
And so you could prepare for it.
Yeah.
But once they decided to go like 10 to 12 weeks, it was too much of a time commitment for me. I just had too many things going on and just couldn't commit to all that. And so I just made the decision to step back and just not do it. With that being said, I did apply for MLP Australia.
Let's go, baby.
So that draft is in 2 days, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
Seemed like a fun idea at the time.
Yeah, very good. No, for sure. I mean, I know there's actually, I saw somewhat of a list on your Instagram story, and there's a lot of people that didn't get drafted from here that that basically applied to Australia because they basically want to go play MLP, and so I think that'll be a good time. I actually talked to, Mitch from Australia, Mitch Hargraves, and he was telling me about these rules that are kind of like, weird in MLP Australia, where you have to pick somebody from your regional, whatever you live. You can pick somebody from, the United States, basically somewhere international, and then the last person can be kind of whoever you want, but it has to be from either New Zealand or Australia. So I would imagine you as a team captain, well, not you, I don't think, because you're from here, but a person as a team captain that's choosing their team, like they have to do so much more homework than all of us here do. Don't you think?
Yeah. No, I've talked to a couple of the captains. A couple people reached out interested in drafting me, but yeah, they get one international pick, and the captain has to play on the team.
Right. So that's already the first pick, regardless.
So it's already the first pick. Yeah. So obviously you have some captains who are just better players than others. So certain teams are naturally be stronger. But yeah, and then the depth. The depth is a big issue because they have to take at least I think 2 of the players that are from their region.
Yeah.
So they need Asian or Australian players, and the talent's growing, but it just doesn't have the depth.
Yeah.
I think we had kind of that issue in early seasons in MLP, or that second season where they added a whole another league, the Challenger League, and then you had some teams that were like a little bit weaker. Yeah. And so I'm kind of nervous because I'm afraid that just my reputation, I think someone might decide to draft me early. I mean, by the time this comes out, I'll probably already been drafted, but my thought process is,
hey, congratulations.
Thought process is, hey, get a really good girl first. Yeah. Because guys, I mean, there's a lot of talent and depth with the guys. You've already seen that some of the Australian guys have come over here and done pretty well already. Yeah. So there's depth there. But, the female game is still growing. You're seeing huge growth here, but internationally, they're still a step behind. So I think it'd be fun. Honestly, I just want a good excuse to go visit Australia and see the world. And I thought it'd be fun to go support. I like helping grow pickleball in other parts of the world. Yeah, America's already booming, so they don't really need me here.
Not anymore, dude. We had you for like 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to go see somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. What are your thoughts on? Have you ever been to Australia?
No, never.
Because I mean, I don't know if you know this, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I see all these like insane, gnarly Instagram videos with like nasty like snakes and huge spiders and stuff.
It's like Florida on steroids. So I'm used to it. I'm used to seeing gators in my backyard. We'll see. Huge spiders.
You can't do it.
Well, and I've been watching some Steve Irwin reruns.
Okay.
So I'm preparing myself for it.
That's awesome. Nice. Yeah. So I mean, then again, I don't really know like what the Australian pickleball like looks like out there. I know Mitch. I know Tom Evans that they really want singles.
It looks like American pickleball, but with a better accent.
With better accent. Yeah. American Pickleball, what, in 2018?
All the commentators sound like Chad Edwards.
What about Morgan Evans?
Morgan. Oh, see, Morgan should go. Yeah, what has he been up to?
I have no idea. I think he lives in Palm Desert. I think he teaches some lessons. I really don't know, though. It's like total, I have no idea.
He's probably captaining one of the MLP teams still, isn't he? Or managing?
Oh, yeah, he's with the Arizona Drive.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a good coach?
I mean, he knows pickleball.
He does know pickleball.
Yeah, he's always coached against me. He was always coaching like Tyson every time he played against me.
That's true. That's true. Dude, what are your thoughts on the time where the Spencer was around?
Oh, the year and a half of BS. The chainsaw serve.
Yeah. Do you think the hand should have been fine with the paddle not? Like, what do you think about that?
No, you shouldn't be able to spin the ball on the toss.
Fair.
I mean, what other sport? You can't do that in ping pong. That's why you have to have an open palm.
Right.
But I just remember that it was Punta Gorda, the first tournament Zayn was doing it, and he played Tyson in the finals and just aced Tyson like 7 times. Because it was impossible to read that ball.
Yeah.
But no, that spin serve was ridiculous. It cost me so many medals.
Oh, 100%. I think it cost me some stuff too. Do you think if the spin serve was still around with the paddle technology that there is nowadays, that this sport would have just like crashed, basically?
It would crash. It would break the game. Yeah. It was breaking the game.
Yeah, it was. Zayn still loves it.
It was hilarious.
Dude, do you follow memes of pickleball?
Of course. Who doesn't?
Dude, yeah, that's true. Apparently Zayn was playing Alshon in PPA Utah, and he just pulled out like 2 spin serves, like hiding it from the ref.
And got away with it?
And got away with it. And like Christian went up to the ref and was like, hey, like he spinned the ball like on his hand, and he's like, didn't see it. So then Zayn would like turn around, spin the ball, and like serve, and like he got like 2 free points in I mean, he got killed regardless, but I think that's like the funniest fucking thing ever.
That is great.
Yeah,
slip it in there. I might pull one this weekend. What would they do? Well. Maybe reserve?
I have no idea.
Is it a fault?
APP probably has different rules than PPA regardless. But if they don't see you, like, dude, maybe you can do it with your mom's reffing you. She might not say anything.
She won't ref me.
That'd be so funny. So I know we talked a little bit about, kind of like investments and all these things, right? So you were mentioning actually that you're really involved with the Pickler. So if you want to, kind of evolve on that and tell the people what you're doing out there in Denver.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Pickler, big indoor facility company out of Utah, and they're expanding their franchises nationally and internationally eventually, but right now nationally they get pretty aggressive. But yeah, I had some time. I like I said, I stepped away from MLP, wasn't competing as much, I had a little free time, and I've always wanted to have my own facility. Yeah. So I reached out to them and was going to do that, and they said, well, hey, there's an opportunity in Colorado. We need someone to help oversee the area, area development. Thought it'd be fun. So I'm working with them, selling franchises, trying to open up some locations. We got one right now, opening 2 more this year.
Nice.
And every year try to open a few more. And yeah, it's a fun project. Nice little side gig. It's really cool. It's fun to see, it's fun to build something. And then you go in that facility every day and you're like, yeah, this is my place. This is cool.
I know. Dude, that's the coolest thing, because just kind of coming from, playing pickleball, like, what, 2013 you said?
Tournaments 2013.
Yeah, 2013. And then you probably have to go to somewhere in a park where it's like hot as shit in Florida, right? And then now you're basically, helping pickleball get bigger and bigger. And then, you're able to go to this like actual facility that's just pickleball. And then you're able to go in and practice and play and help out. And you do a lot of teaching, you mentioned. So just being able to kind of like showcase the sport for all these other people that are interested in it. I think it's huge.
It's just fun to see it grow. Because when I first started, and there was really no one my age playing, no one took it seriously. It wasn't a real thing. But to see how serious so many people take it now, and you get these professional tennis players coming over playing, like Jack Sock, Donald Young, these guys, and you see these celebrities playing. It's like, hey, I was embarrassed to tell my friends I was playing back in the day. Dude, and now it's like the thing. It's cool. Yeah. Like, when did that happen? Dude,
100%. I remember it was the same thing for me when I started playing pickleball, and I loved it. But then, when my friends asked me to hang out or go to a party, I'd be like, oh, dude, I can't. I got to go practice some tennis.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell them.
It's like, I got to go play tennis, dude. Like, I'm trying to go to college, whatever.
For sure.
And I'd be playing pickleball for like 6 hours with Bobby Riggs. Dude, that's like the best.
I'd be at the Villages.
The Villages.
I'd be at the Villages playing with like 50-year-olds.
What do you think the average age over there is?
55, 60.
55 plus?
Yeah.
Dude,
that's awesome.
Dude, so I remember actually, so obviously you were with Paddle Tech for a very long time. The one thing that I was always kind of curious about was, I don't think I ever saw a Kyle Yates edition Paddle Tech.
Yeah, it's a sore subject.
Oh, is it?
We were working on it for a long time.
Yeah.
A really long time, and it just kind of got delayed.
Okay.
And I don't know, the approval processes were always fishy back in the day. I feel like some other company could submit something a week later, it's approved. Paddle Tech could take like 3 months and then it would get rejected. So I'm not sure. But I ended up getting picked up by Volair. mid 2022.
Yeah.
And they were just fantastic to me. Really, really good to me. They, 2023. Anyways, yeah, last year.
Yeah.
I don't know what year it is. Time flies.
Yeah, it does.
But they were great to me. They made me a signature paddle. Beautiful Mach 1 Forza, pink.
Yeah.
Gorgeous paddle.
Do you want it pink like that, or did they kind of like, oh, you should do a pink one?
I actually suggested it, and they were all on board. So I suggested like a neon green or neon pink, like something that's gonna pop. Yeah. And they're like, let's go pink. We'll sell it to a bunch of ladies.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Dude, very cool. Do you ever get to see the paddle sales? Like, how many do you sell?
Yeah, I get commission.
Nice. Okay,
so I have a good idea of how much. Yeah.
Because I never had. So with Engage, I actually had a DJ Young paddle, but it wasn't to the public. It was just for me because I was playing with the EX regardless. But I always thought like if I had a paddle of my own, and then a year later I only have like 20 paddles sold, I feel like it'd just be like a slap across the face. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
It hurt your ego.
It would hurt my ego so bad.
It's tough. I mean, you get some companies right now that they could sell anything. People are just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
They come out with 5 different colors. People buy all of them.
Yeah.
People sell a $300 paddle. People buy it. You get a paddle that's they sell a whole bunch of them. It comes out as they get delisted. It's illegal.
Yeah.
People still buy them. So the market doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And like honestly, like to some extent, I do understand because I'm not gonna drop any names, but I do have friends and perhaps family too that like I'll be like, hey, like which one's heavier, right? And I know this one's like 8.3 and I know this one's 7.9, and they'll like swing a couple times like, oh, like my arm is like, you're swinging the 7.9, but you think the 8.3 is heavier, So it's like a little bit of a. It's just so tricky because there's so many things like also going to paddles, and also like, I mean, the human brain is amazing regardless, right? So you never know what people are thinking. Like I have friends, I have pictures where they send me like, they're at home basically, and they have this pile worth of like, 20, 30 paddles. And like, yeah, I'm just like trying them out. And they bought a Selkirk Lux and, maybe it's too soft. Then they go and buy something that's even thicker. And they're like, oh, like that's like too powerful. Like they just have like honestly no idea a lot of the times.
No, and all the manufacturers they'll advertise that every one of their paddles has great power but great control, and great spin. It's like it's good at everything. They're all good at everything. Like okay, sure.
Yeah, it is funny because obviously when we make a lot of these videos, for the company, right? And you're like, okay, like you can't say anything bad about it, obviously, but you'll come out with like a 20 millimeter, carbon fiber paddle, like it's got just the perfect amount of power.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's carbon fiber, which is soft, and it's also 20 millimeters, so it's not very poppy. Like, come on, let's be honest. Actually, that talking about that, what like I teach some lessons just to kind of people that I know and people that I used to teach and stuff, and they always ask me for advice when it comes to paddles. So the way that I view it is, I would rather have someone play with a paddle that complements their game, instead of like giving them what they don't have. You see what I'm saying? So like if you have like great control and like you're just good at it and you're a 4.5, grab something you're gonna be able to maneuver the ball even better with. But what are your thoughts on people that are like, well, if you have like great control, go and grab like a really poppy paddle because you need power?
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I'm at because I do feel like I like my soft game and that kind of sense, but I always feel like I need a little bit more power. So I tried to go with like a more powerful paddle to kind of make up for that. But then my soft game lacked. Right. So I didn't really have like a strength anymore. I was just decent at both things.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point is if you got a style, you're really good at something, just use that. Yeah. That's kind of one of the amazing things about pickleball is you can just play your own style and get away with it. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned like Callan Dawson earlier. Who else uses that grip? But man, the dude will never miss a dink. You can't hit it through him. He's got his game.
He'll lob you.
And he'll lob the crap out of you. So you just have that style and you know what you're good at and you stick with it. Don't get out of your element. I think a lot of the amateur players don't understand that. They try to hit every single shot that the pros hit. Yeah. And it's like, you don't need to be hitting the exact same shot as all the pros. Find what shots you're really good at and just do those and play the points out until you get that shot.
Yeah, 100%.
So that'd be my advice for the amateurs.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice. And actually, now that you mentioned that, who do you model your game?
Originally, Tim Nelson.
Okay.
Nice. Way back in the day, you guys don't know, the Puppet Master.
The Puppet Master.
So I He was my favorite. I think even Ben Johns credits him. He was like one of the most exciting people to watch way back in the day when Pickleball was first on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just very tricky. Just a lot of finesse and sneaky stuff.
Yeah.
The game's just changed so much. So I tried to add more like tennis-y kind of shots to my game.
Right.
Like I said, I just started adding a two-handed backhand. Trying to get more aggressive on things. So yeah, I mean, you try to pick apart a lot of different pros and see what they do really well. But again, I might try certain things that some pros are good at, and I'm just not capable of doing it. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, maybe just put that in the back pocket and not focus on it too much.
How long have you been doing the quote unquote Kyle Yates for?
Oh, this little thing?
Yeah.
Well, I actually learned it from. See,
dude, we have to solve this thing.
I learned it from Steve Dawson.
Okay,
everyone, I learned it from Steve Dawson. What camera is it? Steve Dawson taught me the Kyle Yates shot. Okay, let's set the record straight.
Okay, who do you think Steve Dawson's got it from?
I think Steve Dawson invented it all on his own with
There's
no
no
help.
chance.
Who did you learn? What, are you take credit for it?
100%. Dude,
TJ has not mentioned this to me ever.
Dude, it's the funniest thing. I used to go crazy over this because obviously I've gotten a little bit better at just playing more quote unquote consistent, right? Because that's just what you're told to do. But obviously we all know when I started playing up to like 2021, 2022, like 8 out of 10 shots that I did were just crazy. Like whether it's inside out or whatever, speed up, you know, and I had no grade. Like it didn't matter. It was just crazy, right? Which is part of like why I could get some like pretty good upsets wins too. Because like what the fuck is this guy doing? Yeah, exactly. So I remember, you know, I was like, oh, like fuck, this makes sense. Like, you know, this makes sense. Whatever.
It's kind of sneaky.
Yeah. And so I started doing it in practice. And at the time, I'm living in San Diego. I'm playing Callan and Steve and all these people.
His story corroborates.
Dude, crazy. And I'm like, you know, doing this shit. And Steve was like, oh, like, that's such a good shot.
Oh, man.
And I kid you not. I can name drop then again. But I kid you not. Steve goes and drills with one of my best friends that also plays pickleball. And then and I had already done this to my friend because we obviously play together. And I love Steve, by the way. This is not a whatever to him, but he goes and drills with my friend, and he goes, let me show you this shot that I just invented. So he's like, just think straight ahead. So they think straight ahead for like 3 shots, and Steve goes, and like does it in his own way, kind of like slow and whatever. And Mike's like, puts it away. And he's like, Steve, I already saw that from DJ. So like, when it all started coming out, it was like the Kyle Yates shot in the very beginning. I was like, is it Kyle Yates shot? And I'd be like, that's my shot, you know, something like that. But anyways, I just had to like put it out there because that's so funny to me, dude.
I don't know how I even got coined with it. I must have done it like once in a tournament and someone filmed it or whatnot. But I'd done it a few times, but nothing like major.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so funny because he was practicing it one day. I think it was at like it was like a Pickleball or something. He's over drilling. He was doing it, and I asked about it, and he showed me.
Yeah,
and that's awesome,
dude. That's the best because I was supposed to do the Pickleball with you guys that one time, and I got sick, so I didn't do it.
It was at Bobby Riggs.
It was at Bobby Riggs, and I guess I didn't do it. And yeah, I have been doing that shot for so long already, dude. so the mystery has resolved.
Yeah, that's gonna keep happening. There's so many other shots like that people get credit for. It's like, hold on, I saw someone do that 8 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just a cycle. People are gonna forget, and they're gonna start calling it some other name in a couple of years.
Dude, 100%. So obviously you've been around for a long time. So what's like the greatest shot, or like who has hit the greatest shot that you're like, oh, like this is like by far the best shot I've ever seen, and who, like, what is it, and who has done it?
Well, the first one that comes to my mind was one of my first tournaments ever. I'm playing against Puppet Master Tim Nelson and Jennifer LaCour, who at the time was the #1 woman in the world. This was 2014.
She lives here, and I know she's
better. This is SoCal Classic 2014.
Yeah,
my first ever real professional tournament. And I'm playing against Tim and Jen in mixed. It's like the 4th place match, whatever, to get to medal rounds. And my partner dinks Tim out wide. For whatever reason, he was on the right side.
Yeah.
Because back then, we didn't really stack.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why not. We just didn't. It wasn't a thing. Anyways, he gets dinked out wide. And there's a referee sitting in a chair, courtside, reffing. And Tim hits the ATP through the legs of the chair into the court for a winner. And I'm looking around like no one else was really that impressed. It blew my mind because I'd already known this guy was really good. And in my head, I'm like, did he do that on purpose, or did he just go for it and just happen to get really lucky?
Right. And then you understand the game too, so you're like, holy, like the ATP at the time, it was like really hard.
No, I had never really seen an ATP.
Yeah.
No one ever really done it. And he does it through the legs of the chair and makes it. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm out of my league. This guy's way better than me, clearly.
Yeah. And you probably lost that match.
Yeah, we got killed. But that was amazing. And I go through a whole bunch of Tim Nelson ones.
Dude, Tim has so many stories.
TOC. Tim's playing Enrique Ruiz. If you guys don't know who these people are, you missed out on a great age of pickleball. Enrique Ruiz was like one of the best players in the world. He won Triple Crown at Nationals one year.
And that's who Callan kind of like got his game off of.
I can see that. Yeah, kind of real flat, but kind of ping-pongy. Yeah. He's playing, and Enrique gets an ATP. And again, ATPs were super rare, almost always a winner. In the middle of the match, and Enrique would always do this thing. When he hit an ATP, he would hit it and go, got it, and get a little fist bump.
Yeah.
He hits the ATP. This is a gold medal match, Tournament of Champions, biggest tournament of the year. Hits the ATP and starts yelling, got it. As he's yelling, got it, Tim digs it out. And while he's hitting the ball, goes, you ain't got shit. And it's a perfect reset in the kitchen. The point keeps going. And then Enrique ends up missing a shot and starts complaining that Tim was talking during the point. It was a distraction.
Is that on YouTube?
It's on. You can find it on YouTube. Yeah, TOC.
Dude.
Yeah, so he was got it. And as he's digging out, he goes, "You ain't got shit." And it's a perfect reset, and the point keeps going.
That's the best.
It's all like that. Those kind of moments are the ones that I get real kind of fanboy over.
Yeah,
I was like, that was so 100%. Cool.
Dude, for people that don't know who Tim Nelson is, I'm pretty sure there's like a YouTube channel out there. It's called like Pickleball Superstars, I think, or something like that.
Pickleball Stars, something like that. Yeah.
And like, you should go check it out. Just like and subscribe to the guy. Like, he has like some of the greatest pickleball content ever. There's also this one video that I watched, and it's like him against Chris Miller in like some like doubles rec game or something. And like, I guess he hit an ATP. Chris Miller calls it out, and they're just sort of like insulting each other, and they're start going for like just the crazy
arguing
shit.
For like 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, just like over like an ATP in rec game, dude. So crazy. Dude, so let's fast forward a little bit, and obviously,
I'm going to give you a shout out real quick, and then we'll fast forward.
Okay.
So, MLP, I got to play against you in a couple matches.
Okay.
I remember the one we're playing against you and Callan Dawson. This was Jame and I.
Okay.
And we're in this, probably the longest point of the match. It was tight. I think you guys were maybe up like 14-12 or something. Yeah. It was still pretty tight at this point.
Okay.
And it was crazy long dink rally. I mean, like 70, 80 shots. And at some point, we're in rally, dinking, and you do this stupid little slice, little floater through the middle.
That's my shot, dude.
It's just like super casual, little slice, floater, nice and high, soft through the middle. And Jame and I both just look at each other and then turn and watch the ball just land 3 feet in from the baseline. Yeah. And you yell like, let's go, whatever. And then you guys ended up killing us after that. We couldn't mentally recover from that.
Yeah, dude.
So I just love little cute, sneaky stuff like that. It's 100%. Like that should never work, but it's so good.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of those, especially from the left side. Thank you for the shout out, by the way. I have one against Dylan and Andre in MLP too. And Dylan and Federico. And I'm playing the right. And like they dink middle, and Andrew usually takes it, so I just go with the backhand like this. It's not off the bounce, and I go, and he's just like, and he just like let it go, thinking it's gonna go just out or something. Floater. Yeah, it just like lands in.
So frustrating.
That's like the greatest moments of pickleball. But all that is awesome. But the one thing that I want to touch on too, considering we talked about kind of like a little bit of the past, a little bit of the present. Now we're in 2024 mid-season, right? You're going to go play some APPs. You're going to go play some MLP Australia, right? So what does kind of like, in your opinion, and everything changes, but what does kind of like, 2024, 2025 looks like for Kyle Yates?
That's a good question. So much changes so fast in the sport. So, I mean, really, 6 months to a year ago, I was kind of just done competing. I'm like, I'm just maybe going to play a couple tournaments a year for fun, but not take it seriously. But body's feeling really good. My last APP was last October, so gosh, seems like maybe 7 or 8 months ago now, whatever month it is now. And I got bronze with Jame, and it was his first ever pro doubles medal. Yeah. And then I didn't play for 6 months, and then U.S. Open, I played with Will Sobeck. Take bronze. Our only loss was to J-Dub and Dylan. Yeah. I'm like, I hadn't played a tournament in 6 months. I don't usually play left side. I haven't really been practicing much, and I take bronze with someone I've never played with before, and I think that was his first professional doubles medal. Yeah, and then here I am again. I haven't played for 3 months. I'm playing Newport this week. Curious how it goes. No expectations. So, like, if I'm getting decent results, I'll probably look to get back into it.
Yeah.
That's why I got a few APPs. I don't expect to be killing it first go after taking a few months off, but like I kind of miss it. I was going to stop competing, but I just miss it. It's just too fun.
Yeah.
And there's more prize money, and that's not really what motivates me, but I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so
it's an incentive though, for sure. Like, oh, I want to play. I could do well. And it's like, okay, I'll make some money out of it.
It helps justify the time commitment because it's not just the tournament. It's just the training leading up to it. I mean, it's such a time commitment. So having good results and making some money is definitely helps. I just miss it. So yeah, I've got a few more APPs this year. Play MLP Australia. I just enjoy competing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do as long as I can. Sponsors are, still pretty good to me. So getting back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah. I'm excited. Okay. Yeah. Who knows what's coming in 2025?
Yeah.
I might go back to Asia. Who knows? See what my experience looks like this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, APP Tour, they got a good group. I don't really have a ton of negative things to say about PPA. Honestly, they've always treated me pretty well for the most part. But that you just got to be full-time committed, to compete with the big boys.
Yeah.
And so yeah, just see how it goes, and you can't really half-ass it. So I'm gonna try to, train hard and compete and see how it goes. And if I keep getting my ass kicked for 6 months to a year, then maybe take it less seriously. But I'm gonna give it one more go. I still feel like I'm pretty young.
Yeah, for sure. 29, dude. You're still a young buck.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Do you actually? Not that we have to go back to this, but you play some tennis, right? Or do you not?
I grew up playing tennis.
You grew up playing tennis.
Yeah, I'm retired now.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Court's way too big.
Yeah, way too big. No, dude, that's cool. So what are some things that you like to do in your free time as well? I think you probably surf a little bit here and there, but there's not a lot of that.
Moving to Denver. I would surf every day if I could. So maybe I should move here.
Yeah, you should.
But I would surf every day if I could. I snowboarded a bunch this winter, but it's a little dangerous.
Dude,
it's one. Yeah, you catch an edge and I break my shoulder and I'm out for a year. But it's nice, just peaceful things.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. I'm just getting older and more mellow. I really appreciate hiking.
Okay.
I mean, so Denver's a good spot.
More like hiking, like you're going up and like you're grinding, or are you saying like you're just kind of like a nice
both?
Simple...
Well, that's the thing about hiking is kind of same thing with surfing, right? You have these moments where it's it's hard, and your legs are sore and you're getting that burn, and so you're getting a workout. Yeah. But then once you get to like the destination, then you sit and relax and it's beautiful. And no one's bothering you. I don't have service. So yeah, I just think sometimes us big old players, I don't think people realize how busy we can get.
Yeah.
And how many people we talk to. And I go do clinics for like 4 days and I'm just mentally just drained. Yeah. Because when I teach, I truly enjoy it. So when I'm giving lessons or doing clinics, I give everything I got.
Yeah.
Like everything to everybody. Because I want to make sure they have the best possible experience and they learn a lot. I take pride in that. If someone left thinking they didn't learn anything, I would take that personally. Yeah. So I just try to give as much as I can, and then afterwards I'm just drained. Yeah. Just mentally, emotionally, just drained. And so it's nice to just go and hike. Go in the woods, go in the mountains with a hammock. And just relax, read a book, just ignore all that for like a day. It's really refreshing. So yeah, I'm starting to get to the point in my life where I enjoy that. Dude, I like to see my family more often. Yeah. My sister's got 2 little kids that I love seeing.
You're an uncle.
I'm an uncle. Nice. Yeah. I'm not ready to be a daddy anytime soon. Congrats to you, by the way.
Thanks, brother.
But I like to be an uncle. Less responsibility, but all the fun.
That's true. That's kind of like that's what my parents say about being grandparents. They're like, like just come and see her like 2-3 times a week, hang out for like 2 hours, and I'm good to go.
Exactly. Yeah. I get them all riled up, but I don't have to punish them or anything.
That's funny.
Let my sister deal with that.
Yeah. Actually, so just kind of knowing your entire like background and how long you've been playing with, like, do you think pickleball should be indoors, or do you think it should?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll answer that straight up. I think pickleball is best played indoors. You're using a wiffle ball. Yeah. Hollow balled holes. The wind wreaks havoc on it. Yeah. And so pickleball was invented. And up in the Northwest, like, near Seattle, they got these huge trees blocking the wind. Yeah. You go play pickleball somewhere like Florida or somewhere it was open, the wind just sucks. Yeah. How many tournaments have been just ruined by wind?
Dude, too many. And rain?
Oh, yeah.
This tournament, like,
awful.
Almost every tournament that I've been to, there's like a rain delay or a change of venues or something like that. I don't really understand why we're not playing indoors yet. That's
the facilities, right? Because it's really hard. Because now that I'm in that business, it's really hard finding a location unless you build it from scratch that can accommodate enough courts for a major tournament. Right. Because finding a facility that can fit like 8, 9, 10 courts, relatively easy. 14 plus starts getting harder. Yeah. How many tournaments you need how many courts you need for a real tournament? at least by 20 plus for a real tournament. So it's just hard finding the venue. So I ran actually a couple indoor tournaments in the last couple of years. One was in Atlantic City. We had like 40 courts.
Yeah.
Went great. You just got to have better flooring.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I started working with Pickler, helping build nice indoor facilities, because there's nothing worse than going to an indoor facility and they didn't do it right. Yeah. They just didn't do their homework. Fences are too tight. You know, it's just the lighting's weird. Ceiling's too low. There's just so many little things that can go wrong that could ruin your experience. Yeah. And so it's cool seeing new facilities opening up that are done the right way.
That does happen a lot outdoors too, though, because I mentioned this on the podcast before. Like I played a mixed match somewhere with somebody against a couple certain people. Like every time we were stacking, and every time one of us had to return on the right side of the court, like I'm like bumping into the fence, and then she's getting served basically off the court, right? Because I can at least like just like power and stuff, or like I can get a good ball stretch, and I'm longer, right? So I need to make as many steps and I can kind of reach. She's like literally like getting ran onto the fence of the court, and then that's like, you know, 6-7 missed returns in one game, and then like the other 3 or 4 are like super short returns. Like, what are you supposed to do? You know? So I mean, and then on top of that, you add, you know, wind, you add sun, you know, it could be rain, like whatever it is. It just gets like too much.
Yeah. I don't think the spectators realize the variables that we do have to deal with sometimes at some facilities, some courts. Like they might seem amazing, but yeah, you can have some weird glare behind one of the sides that just totally ruins your experience. Yeah. There's so many little things that go wrong, and indoors, if you do it right, you know, the environment's kind of contained, right? You kind of control that, so it's a lot better.
Do you remember when we played Adam and Deco in Arizona together?
Yeah.
And
on center.
Dude,
Bronze medal match.
Yeah, I love that venue, but like I remember playing at that specific time. If you were looking, I don't know what it is, but you were looking basically to the outside of the court instead of like, you know, the facility. First of all, there was a huge like shade thing on one of the, and you're playing left, you're playing right most of the time, I think. And so you have to go like in and out of the sun every time you hit a ball. And then if you're on that same side, you have a huge glare on the stairs that's like hitting right in your eye as you're like hitting a ding. And it's like, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
There's so many venues like that.
Yeah.
Remember like Vegas on top of the rooftop, the plaza?
Yeah.
That's brutal. The sunset would come in looking right in your eyes, and on the other side, you're looking at it reflecting off the building.
The white building, yeah.
And then US Open. US Open, one of the coolest courts I ever played on, that Zayn Championship court, US Open. Like, what an honor getting to play there as much as I have. But like, at a certain part of the day, around the finals time, Saturday evening, it's like 6-7 o'clock, sun setting, coming right through the side, and they got the bleachers and then this little shade thing, and then there's like a 3-foot crack. This sun comes right in at a certain time of day. It is coming right through, right in the side of your eyes. Yeah. So if you're on one side trying to dink cross court, you're looking right in the sun. Yeah. I don't think people realize that.
Dude, it's difficult.
It's so hard.
Yeah. Oh, thoughts on the Vulcan Ball? Well, you don't have to deal with it, really, because
I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I played with it once in practice in Florida.
Yeah.
I haven't hit with it again since.
Okay.
I probably would have the same sentiment that the Johns brothers have with it.
Okay. So they love it.
They love it. They rave about it. But yeah, I don't have to deal with it. But everyone's got to deal with it. Yeah. You know.
It is true. I will say though, I mean, obviously everything goes both ways, right? We'll play like both sides. We'll play same win, whatever. I will say though, like there was this one thing that Memes of Pickleball posted where Ben was playing somebody, and I guess he served. The guy returned, and Ben went to hit a forehand, and the ball like rolled.
It didn't even bounce.
And here's the thing: first of all, Ben's gonna win most of the matches anyway, so he probably doesn't care too much. But secondly, like it doesn't matter who you are. But in this case, if the score is like 9-9 in third, like what do you do about it, right? Like now it's something that is really making a difference in whether you win or lose. Because we're all gonna hit tapes in whatever sport. You're always gonna get somewhat unlucky or lucky to some extent, but you can't fault the equipment for it too. Which in this case, it does make a huge difference.
I would say so, and I would say the ball is the technology that I think we need the most research on right now. I mean, all the paddle technology is going crazy, but we're still using relatively the same ball we used way back. Yeah. I mean, tournaments still use Duras.
Yeah.
I use the
Franklin's.
Or the Franklin. I mean, the Franklin. You can say what you want about the Franklin, but I mean, the Dura, we've been using the Dura since 2011.
Yeah.
Like, where's the new ball technology that's more consistent?
What do you think the issue is with it?
With
like coming out with a new ball?
It's a good question. I think material. Well, what's crazy is like the color of the ball makes a difference on how they play. Like the dye in the ball. I mean, it's so fine, the details, right? So it's just weird, but you know, it should be consistent.
Yeah.
And you get a ball that just randomly doesn't bounce for no reason. Well, you can't have that.
Right.
But then also there's other balls that they don't stay round. They change dramatically depending on the temperature. They don't necessarily bounce the same depending on where you hit it on the ball. And so there's just so many little variables that when you try to take the sport professionally like we have, like you got to solve those things.
Yeah.
This isn't amateur hour. These people are playing for a lot of money now.
Yeah. Well, the most interesting to me, and I called a couple people about this because I couldn't play San Clemente, but when we all can agree, like, Ben's the best player in the world. That said, when he does something, you're like, okay, why does he do it? Right? Like what is he thinking about when he does or hits a certain shot or whatever? He was actually, with the Vulcan ball, he was actually sure hopping thirds.
Because he didn't trust the bounce?
Well, that's what I think, right? So like if he doesn't trust the bounce, it does make a lot of sense to serve really hard, take the return off, basically right off the bounce as a sure hop, and then come in right after it. But like that is also such a hard, like for people that don't know, that is such a hard skill to master. Obviously Ben is doing it really well, but like to be able to like get super low, sure hop it with a top spin and get into the kitchen right away, like that just seems a little bit crazy to me. I don't know about somebody else, but the fact that you have to like model your game around the ball that you're playing with, it's like a little bit like insane.
For sure. I play totally different with the Franklin than I do the Dura.
Yeah.
I mean, my swing's different. Is it, the Franklin will squish on the pad a little more. I can roll a little differently.
Yeah.
Dura, I can kind of brush quicker. It's just different. Yeah, totally different swings, different styles.
Yeah. The Dura, I just wish the Dura would not break as much.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
especially
expensive.
when it's expensive and you're like playing, well, back in the day, like a couple of years ago, we were playing like at 8 a.m. in the morning and it's like super cold anywhere you go. And then you're using like 3-4 balls a game.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
It's like a redo.
Coming from like Florida, we go play like a tournament in Utah, and you play 8 a.m. and it's like 60 degrees and the balls rock and just flying. And then if you could survive those early rounds to where it starts warming up, then it starts looking like better pickleball.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
So stressful,
dude. The other thing too, and I don't know what you guys are gonna think of me after this, but it's like if you're like, I remember playing APP back in December. And we had to play at 7 a.m. because of weather stuff, right? And we still had this spin serve. So people were spin serving at 7 a.m. with in Arizona weather. And then obviously with that, it comes drives, right? Sure, like huge spin serve to the fans with the drive. Dude, I remember playing with Dylan this tournament, and somebody had like a DLM-ish carbon. Dude, serve me off the court. I'm running in. Blasted drive at 7 a.m. on my face.
There's no way to keep the volley down.
It hits my hand. Dude, my hand was like the size of this water bottle. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do there? You know what I mean? Fuck. Well, that said, I just want to give a quick shout out to my sponsors like always, Hesacor, You Drip, and Stack, and Head. Use DJ Young code at the checkout for a nice little discount. Please like us and subscribe so we can keep doing some of these if you're enjoying them, and just opening up the pod to whatever Kyle wants to talk about.
Yeah, I don't have anything crazy, but yeah, tune in MLP Australia this next season. We're just trying to grow the sport all over the world. America's booming, but other parts of the world definitely need some help. So try to show them some love. There's a lot of talent out there. I'm excited to go play out there. I teach a lot of clinics all over the place, but you probably have to come to Colorado for it. I'll be teaching at home more often now. But yeah, it's exciting. I've been playing pickleball a long time. It's just crazy. No idea where it's going to go from here. But I'm trying to just, ride the wave where it takes me.
Yeah, there we go. And last but not least, please give him a follow. What's your Instagram handle?
KyleYates.pb.
There we go, baby. Give him some follows. Give him some love. And yeah, let's keep it rolling. Thank you, guys.